Hello everyone, and welcome back to a very, very old and favorite garden of mine, Plant Tycoon, a wonderful time management game where you take care of plants, which is of course one of my favorite things to do. We have not actually been back in Plant Tycoon in probably a couple years now, but I was so delighted to find that our wonderful greenhouse is still here and still thriving because I remembered to pause the game before I left. It is a garden that you take care of in real time, actually. So if I come over to my options, I'm going to go ahead and put the game speed back on fast, and we are going to step once more. Look at the little dragonfly. Oh, we got it! We didn't even have that dragonfly before. Oh, look at our little bug collection. This is so exciting. We are going to step into our beautiful garden. Oh, I missed that butterfly. Once again, because I would love to resume our Q&A series. And that is indeed what this is. We have done several Q&A series in the past. Some of them have been vlog series, some of them have been roaming around in the beautiful world of Meadow from Might and Delight, and many of them have been here in Plant Tycoon, where we actually watch over our little garden, we try to crossbreed our plants, we watch what they flower into, and we expand our little nursery business. Oh, look at that. We have our beautiful fabled rose of Azolla. We should add that to zoo crafting, don't you think? But we do all of that while I answer questions from you guys. And I really want to get back in the habit of answering questions from all of you because I want to build a true community. And it's so much fun to tell stories and go on adventures, but especially because I am currently sitting here wrapped up in my Ubuntu blanket from Sharon, thank you so much, I am remembering the heart of community. I am remembering that we are a special green oasis, and sometimes being very vulnerable and opening up and sharing my most innermost thoughts and experiences often ends up helping people in ways that I just cannot even imagine. And it also helps me to feel like I can continue to try to grow and evolve, just like my little plants here, into an even better version of myself. Not to mention it's just fun. I am indeed quite a bit addicted to watching other people's Q&A series, so I want to get this going again. Just nice and slow and casual. Whenever I feel like I have a few minutes to answer some of your questions, you may find yourselves welcome to walk once more with me into this greenhouse and just spend some time together. I'm told that this is a very relaxing sort of podcasty series. A lot of people actually use them as podcasts, so I hope that they can be quite enjoyable for you wherever you are right now. I hope it can just be a peaceful way to spend time with somebody who, oh, we got a new bug, guys! Who's excited about bugs and plants, and a unique, quirky, weird goose who I really hope can encourage you to try to live your best selves and evolve into who you really feel is just the best version of yourself personally, for your heart, and for what you can offer to the world in exchange for all of the joy that I really feel the world can give us if we are able to find healthy environments to flourish in. So if you can't tell, I've been pretty gosh darn emotional lately. I blame the fact that it was my birthday a couple weeks ago, and I am wrapped up in the Ubuntu blanket right now, which if you have not seen the beautiful update vlog where I opened up the Ubuntu blanket, I highly recommend it. Ubuntu means I am because we are, and it is a gift from Sharon, this amazing crocheted blanket that must have taken months to create, that I have been having in my lap and around my shoulders every day since I got it. And it's made me think about you guys every day since I got it. I always think about my community and what it means to have this space with thousands, literally over 7,000 adventures here. And lately I've been thinking about that in terms of wanting to do more than just be able to use YouTube to eat, basically. I've been thinking about it in terms of really wanting to make sure that I go to bed every night knowing that I hopefully encouraged people to write in their joy journals, to search out the joy that is around you, to remind yourselves that you have the power and the ability to invite happiness into your lives. And that sounds so foo-foo-y, doesn't it? But I just know, being somebody who lived so miserable for so long, that I kind of kept myself blind on purpose because I wanted somebody else to validate my happiness for me. I wanted somebody else to step into my life and tell me that I was a good person. I wanted somebody else to step into my life and tell me that the things I enjoyed were cool enough, even though they were completely different from what everybody else in my life liked. And I think it's really important to stand here now and tell you guys, hello, welcome to my leafy green garden. I am a goose. If you are also a goose, then that's a good thing. If you're not hurting anyone, you're not hurting yourself, you're just seeking to enjoy the world in your own unique, quirky way, that's fine. That's great. That's wonderful. I think it's important to say those things, but I just hope I can be a voice out there that can at least say, please don't wait for someone else to validate you, though. Like, don't wait for me to say it. I hope that in the end, our community can leave the seeds of self-acceptance because you have confidence that you're going to try to become your best self from inside your heart. You're not going to try to become the best self that people tell you to be. You're going to find a good moral compass, and you're going to find your true heart path and have a lot of patience. And I am going to have to live that out. And over the 6 or 7 years I've been doing this, I hope that I have shown you guys my tremendous amount of growth, the many times I've fallen flat on my face or my butt multiple times. And that the growth hasn't happened immediately. My growth has not been a viral success in both the literal terms and in my actual personal terms, but it has been there. So I hope I can be that for all of you. And I'm hoping that these kinds of special places where we sit together in Plant Tycoon and I catch little bugs, and I'm so excited about my little plants that we're crossbreeding, and we can talk about all of the different questions that you guys have and dream about the different worlds that we share in our adventures. I hope these can kind of be a bridge between all of our video game adventures that we go on and my strong Seri persona, and my personal life as Sage, and the vlogs and the streams that we have on the vlog channel and that we'll be having over on Twitch that will be much more personal and based around real experiences. So I hope these Plant Tycoon Q&As can kind of be that bridge. They will not be for everyone, and that's totally fine. I just hope they can be for the right people. So that actually answers one of the questions that was asked on my Instagram. I posted a picture of my beautiful leafy green present that I got from Chips's family for my birthday. It is the big pot that I showed you guys here in my community tab on the main channel and over on the vlog channel. A gigantic pot of plants, tons of plants, a big gigantic main plant that has like 7 or 8 varieties of other leafy green plants around it. We've nicknamed it the Amazon. It's so big that the pot I have to wrap my arms around to move every day. And I do move it every day because during the day it goes on my bedside table, but we only have one bedside table and it's not big enough for my lamp and my plant, so I have to move the plant every night, and I call it putting the jungle to sleep. I pick up my jungle and put it over on a bookshelf in our room, away from the windows, and then I put my lamp up at night. And then in the morning, I put my lamp away and I move the jungle, our Amazon jungle, back over next to the windows so it can thrive. But anyway, the whole point of telling you about that was to say I posted a picture of it on Instagram, and that's where I gathered up this first round of questions. So thank you very much to everyone who asked me questions for this Q&A over on the Instagram. Now that I have done my little introductory spiel to reintroduce this season of our Q&A series, I hope I can get through your questions pretty quickly and we can watch these beautiful plants bloom in only 2 minutes. That's going to be so cool. Let's go ahead and trim off the sickly parts from these wonderful bushes first. And then I will water these plants. As you can see, they need water and they need trimmed when they have unhealthy parts. And we'll see what they blossom into while I answer your questions. But again, someone asked me, let me go ahead and see What is my biggest accomplishment? Says Girly Jules 13 on my Instagram account. And I will be posting on Twitter or Instagram, sometimes in the community tab, sometimes collecting questions from your comments here in these videos, sometimes over on the Patreon chat. I'll be putting out a call for questions for these Q&As on everywhere, basically. So just keep your eyes peeled, and then you might get your question answered. But Girly Jules 13 asked, what's your biggest accomplishment? And I really feel, and Miss Rosie XO, hello Miss Rosie, good to see you, also asked, what are your top 3 highlights and best moments since you started the channel? And I think what I just talked about in the first few minutes kind of is my biggest accomplishment. Being able to go from just trying to survive and accidentally finding that I could do that through feeding myself by telling adventures on YouTube, to building up to a point where then things started to get kind of stable and this became my full-time job, to getting to a point where I wanted to be very significant. And for those of you who have read David Covey's The 7 Habits books, you may recognize the stages I just described. Survival, stability, success, and significance are the 4 stages that he describes of personal, professional, and family success. And I feel like, for me, my biggest accomplishment is going from those stages, but then going from those stages so that I went, just at the beginning when I started all this, I was just kind of interested in making sure that I could survive. I had just lost my job. When I started YouTube, I had to leave my wonderful nursing career, or my nursing school that I was doing really good at. I had to leave my program because I had to move. And I was just living out of my car for a little bit there. You guys have probably heard the dramatic stories back in the beginning. But I think for me, my biggest accomplishment is having stuck with this for so long and evolving into the person that I am. And I couldn't have predicted who I've become. I would never have told you in a million years, 10 years ago, that I would be telling stories through my passion for the natural world and video games for a living. I would have never been able to guess that I would end up living in Michigan, that I would travel to Taiwan, that I would be speaking to thousands of people at a time. So for me, my biggest accomplishment is evolving with this opportunity, evolving with this space, and then evolving with all of you guys too. That's definitely my biggest accomplishment. Is kind of leaning into the growth wherever it took me. I think often we can get caught up in trying to think about our accomplishments as meeting a specific goal. I think some people would be like, my biggest accomplishment is getting that gold button if they're in YouTube or stuff like that. But I really don't feel like that's the way I see accomplishments anymore. I feel like, to me, the biggest accomplishment I could have isn't really one particular thing that I could point at. It's leaning into the opportunities that show up in my life and no longer, get back here, yay, I got him, and no longer being nearly as afraid as I used to be. My biggest accomplishments, I think, are being able to have opportunities show up to record new games, to travel, to be able to speak with new people, to try to express myself in a new way, and leaning into those instead of getting caught up in, oh my gosh, what if I can't do it perfectly? Or, oh my gosh, what if this all goes wrong? I held myself back more than anything else did in my life now that I look at how I lived. There were so many hurdles I had to jump, but the biggest hurdle was myself. So my biggest accomplishment, which is so cliche, but it's true, and it's also, if you're surrounded by people who kind of tell you you can't do things, then you do, like a little tree that gets pruned, like these guys, to go one direction, you feel you can't grow in that direction. But I'm really happy that I have evolved into being who I am today, and that this place has evolved into being what it is, through all thick and thin. So that's my biggest accomplishment, is leaning into the growth and the opportunities that show up and not getting caught up in being too nervous or self-conscious, or trying to make it perfect. One of my biggest accomplishments is letting go of the idea of trying to make it all perfect. That's for sure. Holy cow! We just made some venomous maples here. Do you guys see these teeny tiny little black fruit? That doesn't bode well. And we have a 4-petal maple down here. Let's check to see if I've got that guy anywhere. Oh, these are the fabled roses. We'll need to grow some of those. I do not think that we have the 4-petaled maple seed. We probably do somewhere in here, but it'll take many of your guys' questions and some relaxing afternoons together in order to get to the bottom of what seeds we have in here again. So let's go ahead and self-pollinate the 4-petal maple, because I do believe that is one of the rare plants. We're going to put it up here in the top corner, and we're going to wait for the rest of these to bloom before we decide if we're going to sell them, if we are going to actually go ahead. Oh, there's a little bug there. Gotcha. If we're going to go ahead and crossbreed them, but I hope you guys will enjoy watching them bloom into the little mystery plants that they're going to become. So yes, so that's my biggest accomplishment, and something that I will be talking about a lot more as I continue to evolve over on the vlog channel, with new opportunities and realizations about what I actually want out of life popping up. And lately I've been thinking a lot about how I can try to offer something, even if it's just sharing my experiences in life with you guys, honestly and authentically, to try to help people more. And I know so many of you, in fact, I just got such a sweet fan mail letter in my fan mail email from a wonderful person who described in depth how I have helped her not feel so lonely in the things that she's interested in. Just like I grew up feeling very lonely because I was the only one who was into animal facts. And then sometimes there's that stress of like, okay, this kid loves animal facts. They have to grow up to be a scientist and really good in school and really smart. And yes, I wanted to do all those things, but it also felt a little stressful. Like, other kids are just into K-pop. Can I please just like animals the way that they're allowed to like K-pop without telling them that they have to grow up into being K-pop artists? So yeah, it's nice, isn't it? Just to have people to hang out with who can be like, oh, I want to learn some facts about the Chinese catfish. I want to know more about how puffins breed. I want to just be able to point at a plant and say, isn't that cool? Or come up with some sort of story about what it could be like in a fantasy world. It's so nice to hang out with people who kind of understand that. And I think that's one of the huge benefits of the internet. I'm so glad that, I mean, a lot of you, the internet's existed your whole life, and more or less it's existed my whole life too, for all intents, but it's still so cool to realize that you don't have to be that isolated. It's just a matter of continuing the journey until you find the right community. This coming from a complete introvert who's quite happy with a small community, so don't take my words with a grain of salt. But all right, let's go ahead and continue on with the Q&As. I'll try to answer several of these questions a little quicker. We just hit on some deep ones to start with. But all right, so let's see. We'll go back to the top. And then let's see. Maple Tea Tree asks, and it's totally okay to ask questions about series as long as they're not like where is questions, because the storytelling is part of our world that we share together too. But Maple Tea Tree asks, are you planning on making any other Minecraft series? I love zoo crafting. I am actually. Oh yay, we got 3 rare bugs today, guys. Isn't that just thrilling? We'll have to give them a little look before we go. I am kind of planning on working on other Minecraft series. I have zoo crafting, and zoo crafting will always be my main go-to for Minecraft. And I want to do a lot of crossovers with zoo crafting, actually. I want to start doing like a dragon crossover with Dragonvale. I want to start doing, like I was talking about crossovers just with this. I want to start doing like garden crossovers where we start importing a lot of plants from other video games, like the piranha plant. We already have a cow plant, but I want to get the cow plants really up and going again. Zoo crafting has a lot of potential because it's such a great open sandbox game, and it has an established world And I like to have my sandbox worlds basically last forever, to be a place that you can return to and kind of think of as a home. But that being said, I am hoping to be able to start doing traveling between worlds in zoo crafting, where we might have like an arc of going to a new realm so that we could say see the new types of pandas that are recently coming out, or we could see some of the new mods. I used to try to do that in the old zoo crafting too, where we would like jump between different worlds, we'd jump between different adventure maps, and it would kind of be part of the zoo crafting adventures, but it would be like a spin-off. So I do want to do more things like that too, so we can like go see the llamas that are now in Minecraft that can't exist in our version of Minecraft because we are stuck at 1.7.10 for forever in zoo crafting. But I want to do those things. I want to have Cloud Sagas return and hopefully take on some more of the magic angles. For a very long time now, I have planned kind of like a magic farming series in Minecraft. But it's just very difficult to pull off at the moment. That's going to take a little bit more of a think, but it is something that I'm eyeing up eagerly. But that's all I've got in mind for Minecraft right now. For now, I'm just trying to train myself back into Minecraft. I'm returning to zoo crafting and kind of getting that going. Next step, I want to work on Cloud Sagas, and then we can just kind of see where things take us from there. Now that I'm getting more comfortable with the idea of jumping between a bunch of different worlds and not making like one save file a permanent thing forever, I think that it's gonna really start to take off more as time goes on. And then Mischief Melody asks, have you ever heard of the game Endless Ocean Blue World? And yes, I have. I've actually always thought about playing it, but it is a little tricky because it is an older game, and I've heard you have to be super careful with the music in that game. However, I did recently just get access to a new ocean type game that's come out that I think you guys will really enjoy quite a bit. Oh, look at that! We have the Fabled Maple! Oh, how exciting. I think we already have the Fabled Maple. Oh, yep, there's the Fabled Maple. I'm just gonna casually drag this little seed down here. And we'll do a little spot of crossbreeding with some of these guys. Do we already have that lemon bush? Some of these are suspicious. I think, yes, we do already have this little lemon bush. Some of these, oh, hello, little one. Gotcha. Some of these I think we already have, and I know the 4-petal maple is quite uncommon, so I'm sort of tempted to crossbreed those. Little lemon bush. Alright, these guys are all rare oaks. That's a 4-petal maple. I think what we're going to go ahead and do, that's a rose maple. Oh, hello little dragonfly, I spooked you, huh? Fabled maple. 4-petal maple. I think we're going to go ahead and we're going to sell some of these nice ones here and make some room for some of the seeds we have. And I'll sell all the bamboo right now. Yeah, we'll go ahead and sell the bamboo. It doesn't look like anybody is really going to sell. We'll sell all except for the 4-petal maple and the venomous maple. I think we might want to hold on to the venomous maple. Let's actually crossbreed the venomous and the fabled. I'm curious to see what will happen. And then let's see if anybody wants to buy our lovely plants. And I will try to answer more questions a little quicker. I'm just so excited to do this again. But yes, Endless Ocean Blue World is something I'm interested in. I do plan on doing this, creating a space for storytelling for basically forever. I know that the fad is to kind of like dive in and out of games all the time, but I'm finding a lot more joy in trying to at least complete an arc of what I'm doing before moving on to a new thing. And I'll talk more about good games played slowly in the future as well, because I think that there's a big benefit for those too. That's just a sip of tea there. Wonderful. And then Ichikara Furu, who has made some beautiful art for us in the past, if I remember my dear, of our very lovely Pokemon, asked, are you planning on coming back to the Alolan Islands of Adventure? I'd love to see your Pokemon Moon gameplay again. And I am! I'm actually hoping to return to Pokemon Moon and to maybe even do it a little bit as a casual streaming series that is mixed with pixel biology research. So, I want to return to Pokemon Moon, and what I think we'll do is we will kind of do a mix of normal episodes and streams. So we'll do some normal episodes where I just really focus on like the storyline. We'll do some normal episodes where I focus on my own curious adventures, like exploring certain areas. And then we'll do some streams where we will focus on like leveling Pokemon up or hatching mystery eggs and things like that. And I really want to redo my Pokemon Moon series from the point of view of a student of Pokemon biology. So like a proper Pokemon ranger again. Which would be so much fun. So I do have plans for that, but I want to finish Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee first. So that is my current Pokemon priority. And no matter what, I want to try to get Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee done before it is going to be time to settle in together and enjoy the new Pokemon game for Switch, the Sword and Shield. So that's going to be pretty exciting too. All right, so let's see. We also have Maple Tea Tree asked, what are your future plans for The Sims 4? Right now, the Green family legacy getting a proper foothold again. I want to keep the Green family legacy going as long as I am doing YouTube. And then I also want to have Alia's Stranger Life kind of wrap up the Strangerville mystery side of things, but continue on to see what her legacy will be as well, because she is part of the Green family tree. I want to actually have Kittens in the Cat Cafe series. I want to return to the Thornberry challenge, and I would love to see an arc of the Wishing Well challenge as well, no pun intended. Also, people apparently want us to have a fountain, and we only have one more cactus to sell. So, or wait, there's 3 plants to sell. So let's see if they sell while I answer more questions. And then let's see. Mandy, hello Mandy, has asked, what is it like to make so many friends and meet so many people through Let's Playing? And honestly, this is going to sound quite interesting. We have a great community. I would say I have a couple friends I have made through our community, like really close friends. I have a lot of community friends, so a lot of kind of like club friends, like if you went to a club, an after-school club or something, or you went to volunteer. I feel like I have a lot of those kinds of friends in our community. Holy cow! Look at that, guys. We sold almost everything. We've just got one little plant left. Let's go ahead and fill up all of this. But, you know, I'm still quite a happy duck who pretty much my daily life and social interactions, I am quite the introvert in a happy way. I spend my time speaking to my plants, speaking to the birds that fly by outside or that I see when I go on my walks. I spend time talking to my sister on Discord, my other siblings when they happen to be around. I call my parents once a week. And I have a couple friends that I speak to on a daily basis on Discord. But otherwise, I am quite the introvert myself. A lot of my daily life and a lot of my plans are actually more centered around the adventures I want to go on, the stories that I want to tell. So I know it sounds a little bit odd, but I actually would say that although it can seem like you'd get caught up in a big rush of like networking with tons of people, and it seems like you might get caught up in a big rush of meeting and greeting and just knowing dozens of different people. I'm actually quite shy, and I'm actually quite content with just honestly I live a little bit of a how do I put this without it sounding sad or silly? I am very happy with myself, and I am very happy just being by myself. And so I have met many, 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 many wonderful people that I am so happy to know. But if it seems like most YouTubers just live in an endless world of networking and hanging out with people, I did want to say it is possible to do this, and it's possible to be very happy doing this when it's just mostly yourself. And actually, let's go ahead, my friends. How much would that fountain? Oh, the fountain is so expensive. We need more money to buy the fountain. That'll be our next goal, is to buy the fountain. But I don't mean to make that sound like I don't have friends. I do. But I guess this is just kind of my gentle call to say, hello, fellow introverts. It is possible to be a storyteller the way that I do it, and to spend most of your days by yourself, and to thrive that way. If it's how you thrive, I really think I struggled quite a bit for a good chunk of my life, feeling that I had to force myself into being social and chatting with dozens of people a day, because isn't that how you do YouTube? And now that I have spent more time giving myself the space to be alone every day, and to honor the fact that I am an introvert, and to honor the fact that to create the stories that I do, I need the quiet and the space in order to step into those worlds and make them come to life, I am more at peace with who I am than I have been in a long time. So yeah, and it's really cute because like the other day my sister asked me why I don't do a collab with Simply Illogical, who's apparently a really big YouTuber, and I just giggled so hard, and I was like, Sissy, why do you think I know her? Like, I don't mean that in a mean way, but being on YouTube does not mean you have access to any kind of like networking with the people who are also on YouTube. You meet them either by going to events, which I'm not really an event kind of gal, or you meet them just through like reaching out, just like anyone could do, by sending an email and being like, hey, I really love your stuff, and they'd be like, oh, thank you. I'm very touched and happy to hear that. So yeah, I hope that gently explains what I'm trying to say properly without coming off as silly. But I am happy, and I'm so grateful to have met so many people, like the fan mail letters that I have, hundreds of them. To me, that's what it means to have a ripple effect on people's lives. I guess I see myself more as an author in a way, who tells stories the old-fashioned way, orally with my voice. And as an oral storyteller, I love what I do, and I love that I can come to all of you whenever you need. At the click of a button, I will be there for you, somehow, some way. And with new adventures every day, or literally over 7,000 old adventures. And I'm so happy to be able to do that. And to me, the idea of like meeting so many people, it kind of stretches back into the past of when we first began and comes up to now. When I pick up the fan mail letters that I have, it feels like reacquainting myself with somebody. It feels like being able to look at a precious moment, like the excitement that they felt 4 years ago when they were like 11 and they wrote the letter about how much they love zoo crafting or warrior cats. That excitement still is alive to me. It's still fresh and new, even though it has been so long. So I don't know, it's hard to explain. I guess this is an introvert's attempt to explain that for me, the meeting of people sort of feels like it stretches all the way into the past up to now, and that my daily life is a very quiet one that suits me and nurtures me and lets me thrive. I don't network. I don't do much because I know that my best work and the stuff I hope I can help people with the most is going to emerge through the quiet of the stories that I tell. And I need quiet in order to do that. But gosh, that was kind of an awkward way to answer that, I think, but I hope I did well. Let me very quickly answer a few more questions. What other YouTubers do you like to watch? I know you don't have much time, but do you watch any? I currently only watch Safari Live. I watch Safari Live every single day because it is a live streamed safari by very talented naturalists and guides who respect and love the land that they watch over. It lasts for 6 hours a day. So in the background of my day, I listen to the videos of Safari Live's sunrise and sunset safaris. I listen to the stories that they have to tell about living in the African wilderness. I listen to the stories they have to tell about their respect for the animals and plants that live there, and it fulfills my heart. So that's the only thing that I listen to right now. Otherwise, I often read books more than I watch stuff lately. Because I find that books inspire me to create my own worlds, and that's important. Everything in my life is kind of becoming built around trying to become a good storyteller for all of you, and trying to find that balance between an authentic voice from my heart and the stories that excite us and delight us that we have being told in our pixel biology adventures. And that actually goes really well with Mandy's final question: what kinds of games excite you the most? And the answer would be pretty much anything I can tell a story in. And it turns out that variety is a lot bigger than I thought it would be. I never thought that I would be happily telling stories in app games, or stretching stories out for so many years in Minecraft. Sandbox games are definitely my favorite. Games with quiet and peaceful tones are definitely my favorite. But as I am evolving, as we talked about in the beginning, I'm learning anywhere that I can make space to tell a story and try to leave behind a little bit of laughter, a little bit of joy, maybe a little bit of a call to action to try to live lightly on this world, be kind to yourself and others, to try to encourage yourself to evolve, meaning doing the hard things sometimes, meaning looking inside yourself and being at peace with the hard answers sometimes. That's important to me. So that any game that allows me to do that, which there's a lot more than I thought there would be, but not all games fit that, is what I love. So there's several more questions, but I have rambled on long enough. This is definitely related to me needing to get back into the swing of things. I will try to answer more questions next time with a little bit more pace to it, but this is about hanging out and building a community together. And that's not always going to be in a fast pace. In fact, I hope it isn't. I hope that just like some days I wish that I could just spend an hour sitting in a garden sipping tea with some of you, this fills some sort of need or desire or hunger that you didn't know you had, or just makes you smile. So please, I hope you all had a wonderful time. I hope that you can leave questions for me in the comments section. As you can tell, this is probably geared more towards the older half of my audience, but if you are of the younger half, then do please go ahead and feel free to ask questions. Questions, especially from curious young minds, are one of the most precious treasures to me. And I hope to see all of you next time for a little bit more time in the garden, where we can see what these little mystery plants will bud into, and we can go ahead and crossbreed our venomous maple tree, which sounds quite exciting and daring, doesn't it? My goodness. So alright, I will see you guys next time. Do please leave a like. Let's slow time down, because it's good to live the slow life sometimes. Do please leave a like to help me out with our little garden that we have growing. Consider subscribing if you would like to make sure you can find your way back into our leafy green community at any time. And I will see you guys next time. Be sure to leave your questions in the comments, guys, so that we can hang out again, you know? Bye, guys.